In this lesson, we're going to be taking some pictures. We're going to use the device camera to take some pictures and display an image. The screen is pretty easy. It's just a button and an image view. And in this lesson, we're going to shell out, essentially, to the camera application that comes standard on an Android device. In the next lesson, we're going to embed the camera within our application so the user is never taken outside of our application. In our activity, we just have the single button, take a picture. And if you remember our discussion about intents, one of the good things about intents was that you could start other applications using them. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this case. We're going to create a new intent, and it's the Media Store Action Image Capture, which uses the camera. We're going to get ourselves a Java I/O file called public directory, and that's off of the external storage and the pictures directory. Now you'll note that there's no checking to make sure that whether that external storage is available or not, but that was demonstrated in the file I/O lesson, so you can take a look at that to make this a bit safer. This is the Java I/O version of combining directories to create another directory name. So we have a subdirectory called Using the Camera underneath the overall directory pictures. And we make that directory if it doesn't already exist. Then we create our picture file name, which combines the directory and just picture with a unique identifier. We use our camera intent and put in extra data for the media store output, and then we create a URI from this file. And finally, we start the camera activity. And if you remember intents, we have an override to wait for that activity's result. So we make sure that the request code is 0, which is what we had started the camera intent with, and that the result is OK, which means they didn't cancel out of the picture. We get our content URI, and we get the bitmap from the media store using that content URI. So this relates back to the picture file that we had initially created. We get ourselves a URI and then get a bitmap from that URI. And now it's going to be the picture that the camera took. Finally, we got our image view and we set the bitmap and dispose of it nicely. So let's take some pictures. And now I'm on the actual camera application. Of course, in the emulator, it doesn't really have a camera, so you get this relatively unexciting checkerboard. And I can take a picture, and I'll accept that. And we'll go back to our application with the picture. You also note that the camera was in landscape mode, and we're showing it in portrait. So that's why there's an orientation issue there. So that's kind of the easy way of taking a picture in an application. In the next lesson, we're going to show how to embed the camera into the application, which is a little bit cleaner, but also a bit more complicated.